time. Yo, you are now tuned in to another episode of the 3% Show, where I always tell people my motto is people will tell you 97% of their truth, and that's admirable and real if it's cool. But the 3% unspoken holds power in your life, no matter how good it is, how bad it is. It could be the thing that drives you or destroy you. Today, I brought some brothers on with my co-host Jay Sweat in the house. To me, they are royalty of Kansas City. And it doesn't matter what side, Missouri or Kansas, the longevity of the name, the longevity of the music, the dynamic for them to be able to go ahead and work with other artists, put shows together, still have the drive, still have the penmanship in this world. I give you the Soul Service. Oh, God. Yo.
Yeah.
So, hey, starting from Lou to Deuce to Smooth, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Louis Rip, 1/3 of the Soul Servers, 1/2 of Blues Brothers, full-time dad, full-time husband, as you can hear. Yes. Yes, hold on. Yes, I rap and all the good stuff. That's me.
Already. Next, we got Lucy Deucey. What's good with it, brother?
What's going on, y'all? Deuce Fontaine, Deucifer if you're nasty. 1/3 of the Soul Servers, the other half of Blues Brothers, MC, producer, engineer, all that good stuff.
Fellow Scorpio.
Yeah, Scorpios in the house. Yeah.
Already.
So, but I don't have all that other cool stuff like Lou. It's just me.
All right, and then we got Mother Eric Smooth. Never know what his hair gonna look like. Sometimes it's back, sometimes it's in a ponytail, sometimes it's under a hat all day, every day.
You ain't never lied about that. You ain't never lied.
Brother.
What's up? I'm Smooth Confusion, also 1/3 of the Soul Servers. Just local Gemini here chilling. That's about it.
Yeah.
They want to special. There we go. Gemini's in the house.
Oh,
yeah. Scorpios, boo. No.
Here we go. So yes, brothers. Sweat, go ahead and introduce yourself, aka Certified Teddy, aka if you need cuddles for hugs, aka cuddles for cash, aka 6 foot. Well, go ahead.
Man, I mean, shit, you already pretty much said everything. I'm Jay Sweat, man. I do a lot. I do a lot, but do a little, but do a lot, man. I'm just 1/2 of a big team that's supporting CJ, man, in his dream, man, in this 3% show, man. I used to do radio. We got the Stroke 5 Stroke, fraternity. Stroke 5 Stroke with me and CJ. I do cash for cuddles for women who need them cuddles and can't find a man. I'm just that smooth operator, man. I'm trying to be a smooth operator.
All right, I dig it. That's that Sigma in them. So, you got to watch out. You got to watch them brothers. They be under the radar, killing the game. So, fellas, again, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all being on the show. Like, for real. Like, I'm actually nervous, like I'm back in the booth about to perform. Because the longevity, man, I mean, y'all were doing things that were groundbreaking. People like you, James Christos, you got Milk Drop, you got D Will, you got Reach, you got, I consider y'all music and I try to get it as much as I can when I come home to stay current. But I mean, y'all was rocking it before only a handful of people took it as a craft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I took it personally. It was a part of you, and that's what I appreciate. If you can, tell us when Soul Servers first started, then I'm gonna break it down and ask a few more questions.
When was that, Smooth?
Early 2000.
Yeah, somewhere around there. 2000.
Don't show your age now. Don't do that now. We can't look like Wu-Tang in this joint. Just getting back together for one show.
No, I had to be back in 2000 or so. Yeah, started off as a vehicle for a Rough Draft, Deuce Fontaine, and Lost Cause. An easy way for the 4 of us to do shows.
Mm-hmm. And I never knew
it just took off from there, because just formed a brotherhood from there. We was like, yeah, we're gonna do shows, but we still Rough Draft, Lost Cause, and Deuce Fontaine. And then like that lasted maybe a show or two, and then we was like, nah, we soul servers, because it's just like we was always at the over at 150, what was it, 1151 Entertainment. Yeah, we was
Mhm.
always over there
Lord.
making music all the time. Just man, we could go through all them boxes with all them CDs of the old music.
Oh goodness. I was looking at it the other day. I'm like, man, this just keeps going, keeps going.
Yeah. And that's super
So
dope.
much.
That's super dope because I remember the first time I saw you, that's back in the day though. You know, the early 2000s, that's when we were still going on Westport trying to get in, paying $20 to get in with a hat, $5 without a hat. I wasn't balling. I never had a hat. I just had to brush my hair. But I started finding out, the history of KC, and a lot of people don't understand how rich Kansas City is with blues and jazz. And we're just, I think in that Midwest era, we're just naturally talented and gifted with words to say, you know? And I remember one song, everybody know I love it. I came to a show and y'all did a show called Bucket Fly, and it fucked me up. It fucked me up. And ever since then, I was like, who are these cats? Because everybody had their own thing going on. And that was back in the day when people wanted to rap. Y'all actually put on a full show. Like, you don't have hype men. Like, y'all have to have breath control like Nas and Kane, and especially when it comes down to the dynamics that y'all be going through. Who inspired you all individually to become a rapper? Who do you value as far as the rap game? And when did you know that rapping was your thing? Anybody, it don't matter.
Shit, I'll kick it off. For me, like, what the hell?
What's your average?
He even got the little screensaver, boy. No wonder why he got the chains on.
Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so for me, like my inspirations were Rakim was a big one for me back in the day. Public Enemy, NWA. Like I always like people who had like a message, something to say. You know, I like lyrics, but I wasn't aware that I was like lyrics back then. So it was always about somebody who had a message. So people like X-Clan and you know, coming closer to the 90s, Nas, Biggie, Wu-Tang, Snoop, all of that. You know what I mean? So it was like just people who had something to say, you know, originally. It was like NWA always had a message. Public Enemy always had a message. They stood up for something. It wasn't just like, hey, I can rap, or I got gold chains and I got this and I got that. Nothing against that, but it was just, I was always driven by people who had a message.
I dig.
Ironically, one of my biggest influences, people don't know, is the Brat. The Brat was a very big influence on me.
She's a beast.
Yeah, she's a fucking beast, bro. She's a problem. Always has been.
Like, no disrespect when people be talking about female MCs. I'm like, why is
she don't get no shine?
She's not a rapper. I'm sorry.
Nah, Missy definitely not a rapper.
But the Brat, Rhapsody, but the Brat don't get her shine. So you absolutely right.
Yeah, for sure. Big influence for me though.
Absolutely. What about you, Smooth?
I mean, I think along the same lines as what Lou saying. You know, all those people like sort of influenced me, and I was always into the, you know, the culture of hip hop and music and things like that. But who made me really want to rap and do it as a, you know, a craft and a career was, I have to say, Outkast. Just seeing them come out, and once they started doing stuff, it was just like, man, all right, this is something I really want to do, you know. So say Cast for real.
Absolutely. What about you, Deuce? Good with it.
Oh man. Like I know I remember writing my first rap when I was in second grade.
Second grade?
Wow.
Second grade.
Second grade.
So that you had to pull. Everybody want the teachers that you.
Nah, he was writing with a crayon. He was writing with the crayon.
No, I was one of the big fat pencils.
Already.
Big cheap tablet and all that. But yeah. But like I remember I used to have this Fisher Price record player, and I had a UTFO.
You cold want to be with me? Master Baby got me in trouble. Go ahead, brother.
Master Baby.
Tango Kid.
Right. Yeah. My song was
R.I.P.
Roxanne and Bite It. Bite It was my jam. Lisa's Lips was dope. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what first really got me into it. And then as I got older and started perfecting my craft, like Busta Rhymes is a huge influence on me. I've always just everything about Busta Rhymes, his energy, his flow, everything. It's like he was like one of the first people I heard just spit over any type of beat and just
Right,
do
right.
it do it so perfectly. And I was just like, so he's probably my biggest influence in making like, yeah, this is something I want to do.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
I'm learning because I know you're a huge Ghost fan because I'm a huge Ghost fan.
Yeah. Oh, I love Wu. I love Wu. But Busta Rhymes was the one that made me say, yep, this is it.
I can dig it.
So question, fellas. Who was y'all Run DMC moment? Who was y'all Run DMC moment for when y'all was down there in KC? Now, me being from New Orleans, I had the Hot Boys. So who was y'all major group that really pumped y'all up even more so?
In KC?
In KC or period?
We first let's go with KC and then let's go with just period. What group got y'all moving? Who was y'all Timberland and Magoo? Y'all Run DMC, y'all 504 Hot Boys.
If I can jump in here and interject, I think one of my all-time favorite artists and groups would be Sounds Good. You know what I'm saying? Miles B, Joe. I mean, when I first heard Sex in the Morning, I was just like, who the hell put this together? And where did they fly this in? Because this can't be local. So Sounds Good was life altering the way that I listened to artistry in Kansas City versus saying, hey, I'm glad that you're from KC, but that ain't it, dog. You rapping to be local. You want that Westport fame. So that was me.
Smooth.
I'd probably throw out there and say the Heat Mob, or Heat Mob and Devious Minds.
Come on, Devious Minds.
Yeah, man, those two groups. I remember like hearing them, and once that, I was like, oh my goodness, all right, that's where we got to get to. Them dudes is trying to go somewhere. They taking their stuff and going further. So yeah, those were the first for me.
Devious Minds.
Like the name of that. Who you got, Mr. Deuce Fontaine? Who inspired you as a group?
Kansas City. Truth be told, Rough Draft, Smooth and PL. Like when I met Smooth and then met PL and heard them doing stuff, that was what let me know that, okay, I can do some rapping in Kansas City for real. Because like for the longest, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna find anybody that I feel like raps on the same level that I do. And then I met them. I was like, oh, I gotta catch up. So they were big ones. And then they introduced me to Cess Crew, The Guild.
That's Crew.
And I heard those guys and I was like, I don't even know if I want to rap anymore. What's going on here? You know, so yeah, those will be mine right there.
What about you, Luz?
For me, it was probably a little different because it was like on the Kansas side, there really wasn't a lot of people doing that shit, like for real, not on a real level. And if you remember, we actually had a Cess Crew over in Wyandotte County.
We did.
And so when I kept hearing the name Cess Crew, I was like, them little
niggas from high school?
No way.
The White House?
No, hell no. Yeah, remember up in Washington, we had, it was Kevin and I can't remember them little cats' names, but they was called Cess Crew. But they were SESS Crew.
Yeah.
And shout out when I kept hearing the name Cess Crew, I was like confused. I was like, there's no way these little niggas is making noise like that. Like these dudes say they ain't even on it like that. So honestly, my biggest influence was Soul Service because when I first saw them, that's what made me see that there was like not rap in Kansas City, but actually like diversity in Kansas City. Yeah. Because like I remember seeing their first set with they did a show with James Christos. He saw like a live video down at the Hurricane. And they came on before him. And I just remember like being blown away because it was like every song was uniquely different. That's what blew me away. It wasn't that everything sounded the same. Everything was like a switch up from the last song. And so like I was a part of Eucalypto at the time. Like we hadn't even started doing shows yet for real. So I remember looking at Fahim and I was just like, we gotta get down with these cats. Like this is what the fuck is going on, like for real.
Right.
So they were my biggest influence.
And that's so dope because Yuku had its own thing. You have Fahim with a cadence of Andre 3000,
Right.
Evans, you know, he has that swag, and he was the first one who lived and died by that Outkast CD. When that dropped,
He was
Willie wasn't the same Willie. Will was like smooth after that. The glasses got the tint on him before his time. He walk outside, the glasses go dark. I said, brother, you got good insurance. And then, I mean, I think for you, and this is just a personal thing, I think for you, for years, we could walk around calling you Shaq forever. You always had the coldest jerseys. You had your own vibe. You moved to your own tune. And when I saw you doing music, I'm like, this cat, he's really into it. So it's a reason why you had the pin in your hair with the mind chops for a while with the waves. Brother, I pay attention. You just never know who pay attention. And that's why I have you all on the show, because I've paid attention no matter where you all have been. Y'all could be at a poetry spot. Y'all could be at ULIT and people still know who you are. And that was important even back then. So keeping it KC. Oh, wait, my fault. Jay Sweat, what about New Orleans outside of the big names? Do you have anybody that might have been overlooked that came out of your area but is truly talented?
Oh man, everybody know we started with the 808s with the Juvenile. We had Soulja Slim. A lot of people sleep on Soulja Slim that's not from New Orleans. R.I.P. Soulja Slim. R.I.P. Magnolia Shorty.
Yeah.
Man, we had a gang of dudes, man. I know a lot of people, they be hating on them, but for about a good 2-3 years, Silk the Shocker was that man. Silk the Shocker was that guy. I mean, he ain't the greatest actor in the world, but he was putting those lyrics together with ease. And then you just behind the scenes, man, the guy who I really fell in love with as far as with music and just being able to produce, man, he was like our Timberland, our Pharrell, our Swizz Beatz, you know, Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh was the one that was holding all those guys together, man. He was the one who was dropping those beats, creating those beats for those guys that was giving them the vibe, man. And when I say the city turned out, you know, Houston, they look towards the Trays and the Pimp C's, and they really think the city be turning out. But in New Orleans, man, if those guys did a show anywhere in New Orleans, man, it was turned up. It was turned up and turned out. And DJ Jubilee was gonna always have you bouncing.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you were speaking of that, because that was going to be one of my next segues. And I think it's important to me, and I think it can make or break artistry, depending on being a true artist and true to yourself, rather. Because people don't want to be labeled rappers. They want to be an artist. It's lanes for everything. I understand you want to be individual. I think that we need to have best rap, best alternative rap. We need to diversify these categories so everybody will get their shot at their true artistry if we want to be artists. I'm glad to hear that New Orleans really show up, because I think for a long time, and I've been coming back, I've been gone for 10 years, but I do come back and check out different venues. How do you think you felt, and what drives you? And the reason why I say this is because you can be the dopest MC and there'll be 100 people. But if you don't bring 60 of them, even though you dope, the crowd won't get into it. You know what I'm saying? What kept you all going to make people be like, damn, you know, I'm gonna keep pushing through this, even though these people know we dope, but they ain't giving us our props? Do you feel that the consistency that you all have shown have made other people from other places want to rock with you all more? What inspired you to keep going?
Oh,
yeah, damn near 20 years in the game. That's why I'm asking.
Man, I don't know. We've always had that confidence. Like, we've always known we were dope. So it was always hard for us to be like, I don't think we ever had the idea in our head that we weren't going to get people to like what we doing. Like, I remember PL and Smooth used to have a song, and it had that sample, "We make it hard when we go on first." And that was like our motto. We lived by that. we make it hard when we go on first. So it's like when we
Man.
started doing shows, we made them realize that you don't want to put us on first because you're gonna mess up the rest of the show because people ain't gonna be able to keep up with us. And we did it time and time again.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree with that because trying to figure out the best way to say it. That was, I think, the motivation just of that. Like you said, like with the crowd, when we get through doing something, if the crowd wasn't moving, it'd be like, instead of us looking at it like, we know we did dope. All right, how can we get these, how can we get these motherfuckers next time? Or what can we do to step it up? Or if they did put us on first, like just like Deuce said, we made it very hard for them. And then if anybody that went on after us, did, I'm not saying nobody ever did a good job or whatever, but if anybody was able to still, because there's just like you said, there could be a crowd with 60 people. And sometimes when we got through and the next group would start, everybody be like, oh man, we can go get a drink now.
I've witnessed that. I've witnessed that a few times.
But I think we would always stay around and check out other groups, and if we saw somebody doing dope, we'd be like, all right, how do we get better than that? How do we raise ourselves up and keep working at our craft and get better and better and better? Because we wanted to be the best, and we wanted to make it hard for everybody every time.
Absolutely. And for you, Rip, how did you feel coming into this momentum of you already have, soul going on? Did you have hesitations? How did you feel or how did that even happen? Because one day I looked up and I was like, oh, I literally was like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, my fault. Shout out to PL. I got to give it to
PL.
The smoothest, quietest brother that'll do the to That every time I say
Shout out to PL for sure. To be honest, it was a natural transaction. It was seamless because, for one, even when I was doing stuff with Ucuepto, I was still doing stuff with them. So it was, for a minute, we was all going over to Smooth's house like every Sunday pretty much and just putting stuff down. And it got to a point where, I think Willie had to work or something. Fahim couldn't make it as much as he could, but I just kept going. And, those would turn into hangout sessions down at the Peanut, and those would turn into hangout sessions on a Monday or a Wednesday. And it was just by the time I joined the group, people was kind of like, I thought you was already in the group. You know what I mean? It was it wasn't even a big deal. It was only the people that didn't know that was what the hell's going on. But it was a seamless transition because the brotherhood was easy. You know what I mean? They were easy to get along with. I vibe with them easy, they vibe with me easy. And then the music just came naturally. When you got a vibe there, the music just falls into place.
Right.
So it was seamless.
That's dope. And one thing that I do love about you brothers is I can tell it's a true brotherhood because you all not only go hard with each other, but you all interact and work with other acts. You work with other groups. You drop verses on things. I remember, I still think it's a classic, and I don't brag, but when me, Deuce, and D Will did KC Fitted, I felt like that should have been released and should have been an anthem.
Yeah,
for sure. Even back then. And that's not just talking about me, but that goes to show the talent that everybody has being in the city and what should pop, because I will be the first to tell you, I think what people consider the triple OGs of the rap game in the city, I strongly disagree. That's just me though. I'm a lyricist. I understand artistry. I understand a show. Janet Jackson, not the best singer, but she can put on a show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I just, I don't know. It's just so important. And I appreciate you brothers, because y'all truly kept that bond. And then to branch out, give us a little bit about who you branched out with and who you enjoy working with. Because I know it's so many, you've named some of them, but who did you enjoy doing verses with? And was it a battle in the booth, or, because that's when you had to show up and record, so you couldn't just record it and then shoot it. Y'all had to sit there in front of each other, look at each other. So
exactly.
Any of y'all can start off.
Shit, I'll start off. I remember I've been blessed to work with a lot of artists, man. You know what I mean? It's been cool. But I just one session in particular, I recorded a song for my album called Zone Out. And that song featured myself, Les
Mm.
Ismore, Smooth, Godimus from Cess Crew, a guy named Tunes and Vertigon. And these are all like lyrical heavyweights. So for me, this was like a dream come true because it was like, man, I got the coldest niggas on the city in one song. And the way it came about was so dope. I remember asking them at a show like maybe a week before. And so we came over to Smooth's house and actually got him. Mr. Smooth wasn't even supposed to be on it. They
Nope.
just caught wind of the people that was coming there. They saw everybody like, you know, saw Les coming in, they saw Vert coming in, and then Smooth and Gotti was upstairs and they was like, shit, we in on this shit too. So it was like everybody came downstairs and they just had their pens and they was just doing their verses and shit. That was a really dope moment for me personally to like have all these heavy hitters in the same room writing their shit at the same time and just going back to back with that shit. Smooth wound up killing everybody on that song, just for the record.
Man.
That motherfucker was just, it was a dope session. The whole thing was just a dope vibe.
Damn.
That's from trying to catch up with y'all. Y'all was killing it.
Nah, nigga, that was pure motherfucking murder. He murdered everybody on that track. Everybody.
You gotta understand, Jay. Smooth is the one to rap, and he be doing like this, and he bend his knees, and he be in it. Like he's the one who be animated on that joint. Dudes be walking around like he Diesel all day. He man, like somebody kicks his ball over the fence.
So you telling me he got that Andre 3000 feel?
Hey man, that dude is beat. What about you, Smooth? Who did you enjoy working with? What's one good memory of just working with another act too?
I guess that would be approaching Royce Diamond. I went on the road with Approach for a few months or whatever, and we were really wanting to get a new project out there before we left. So like the night before we left for tour, we ended up recording the whole album and just just vibed out and stayed up like 10 or 12 hours working on it and immediately hit the road the next morning and went out and pushed. And then when we got home, by the time we got home from tour, we were listening to it like, man, this sound old. So we spent another day and knocked out a whole nother album. And so just those projects were pretty cool to have something unique and special there. So
yeah, I ain't gonna push it out that much. I'm a thinker. I'll be thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it took a little bit, we're both sort of perfectionists when it comes to that. So it didn't get right out there. But that's what I said. By the time we got back, we're like, oh man, this sounds old to us. We need to go fix it, make it better. And, how can we improve on that? Let's see if we can outdo ourselves with this next one. So
Gemini.
Yeah, man. You know it.
Here you go. Yo, Mr. Scorpio, Scorp. What up with it, dudes? Who did you enjoy working with?
Man.
Wait, Lou, what's your zodiac sign, brother?
Sagittarius. I just had a birthday.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Over them Sagittarius, though. Come on, man. That's the end.
And we vibe. The Gemini's vibe with them Sagittarius.
Yeah. The Sagittarius is cool till they ain't cool. That's how we are. We good
already. Now, that's a fact.
That's a fact right there.
What about you, dudes? Who'd you like collaborating with, or people that you like collaborating with?
I'm trying not to cheat and say when me and Lou did the Blues Brothers album, because that was really one of the funnest albums I did working with him. And he was still Yuka Wepto, and we linked up and did that joint with D Will. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun as hell.
Yes.
I think a lot of my working with folks though, I think some of my favorite movies is when I was engineering. And I know I did a lot of sessions with Stitch 81 Classic. And yeah, she's always great to work with. Clay Hughes. That was great. It was great working with him. And then I started doing shows with him. So I was like, I'm rapping with a band now. So it was like, that was fun. So many, too many to pick one.
Yeah, I
just
can
like,
dig it.
It's just so many, so many.
I
Like
definitely,
I could take it back to when I first met Smooth and them and say when I was working with Rough Draft because we wasn't even a group yet then. So it's like it's just so many, so many.
I dig. I dig. What about you, Sweat? I know you did some engineering down in Texas Southern University.
Oh man, actually, man, it was fun, but I gotta say, from the engineering part, man, listening to those videos over and over and over and over again to make sure everything was lined up, man, that was frustrating and irritating. But I mean, I had fun. Mine was not so much engineering for people. My fun was the people I got to meet and have conversations with. People I got the fellowship with, who most people would be like, if you meet them, they'd be like, oh, that, and they were just down to earth, regular people. When I got to meet Twista and actually sit down and have a conversation with Twista and just talk about regular everyday stuff. At the time, I was a college kid, what a college kid would go through. Those were the fun times for me. Just sitting down with brilliant minds and just having regular down to earth conversations like we having right now.
Yeah, yeah. That's super dope. I don't know if I can just say one time. I feel like all of you might feel as far as different things, but I truly enjoy working with Milk Drop. When I met Milk was like the coolest offbeat rapper, but yet it's always on beat and fumbling through his words like that. So definitely working with Milk. When I heard Deuce's verse on KC Fitted, I was like, oh shit. Like, he's talking good, clean, and wholesome now, but when you hear that voice, I was just like, oh shit. Definitely working with D Wheeling back in the day, Steroids Music. I feel like we had a great group of talent that just never popped. I never wanted to, I was in my thing where I wanted to travel. I wanted to go out there and promote it. And, D Will, Ness, who else was killer back then that I worked with? That's really about it. I was short-lived with writing. Tell me this, and this is something that I think about. I've always said it's a civil war between mainstream and quote unquote underground hip hop. I feel like people, depending on where you sit on the fence, if you make it mainstream, sometimes people be like, you ain't keeping it real. If you're underground, mainstream is saying that you're mad at them. How do you all navigate through the city knowing that we have one of the last, I think the last Black radio on station that wasn't putting people on and allowing them to go ahead and push through and be heard? We can go 3 hours down the street in St. Louis, Poetry Spots is sponsored by McDonald's. You got, I think, Night Owl that was with winning Grammys with the Foreign Exchange and more. How do you think that has any of that changed from back in the day? Because I know I've been out the music game for like 13 years. Do you still feel that tension, or is it still tension in the city regarding that?
Ooh, Deuce Face said it all. Deuce Face said it all.
Well, my face says I don't know because I don't pay attention. Just to be honest, I don't. I like to say I'm old and I'm stuck in my ways, so I just stay where I'm at. So, like, yeah, like or the best way I've explained it myself to people. So what is, I'm an introvert that knows how to be an extrovert, but I don't like it. So,
like that. That's deep.
So
Okay.
So like, if I'm not at home, if I'm not at home, I'm at home. That's the best way to put it. So I'm not really sure. I haven't really paid attention as far as mainstream and underground.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's a tension there or not.
Because the only reason why I say that is because I remember, just casual conversation, you can hear different people or different sections or different things saying, dang, I wish they give us a shot. So that's the reason why I said in time, because I remember Miss Shay, when the Show Me Mix show came on, that was when I started hearing like artists like Reach and you, and just on the radio, they had to go ahead and start their own joint, apply for that time slot and get it out. So
right.
I don't know if KPRS is playing more local. I know they got Riz out there. I know they got a couple of more other people out there. So I just hopefully thought that we would get to the point where people would just be like, you know, and I think it's changed with the digital era, that you don't necessarily need
Yeah.
radio. You can go ahead and go around it. You can do, you know, so many different things. And I see a lot of young artists when I come home, and, you know, they're young Thundercats. My cousin Mike, dope artists. They just got their own vibe. So do you think that the artistry, as far as the being a true MC, is growing? Do you still have more open mic spots where people rocking? You got the Riot Room and more. Do you see the progression happening as far as rap in the Kansas City area?
I hate to sound
Damn it,
but,
boy.
but nah, I mean, as far as, you know, from, you know, I may be sort of like Deuce. Maybe I don't get out enough, or maybe I don't have my ear to the street paying attention, you know, enough. But, you know, from what I've noticed, the cats that I do hear, and like you're saying, because of the digital age and stuff like that, no offense, but they're trying to sound like everybody else. It may be, you know, it may be something new, and sometimes the first, you know, something here in Kansas City, but just like Soul Servers, I think we prided ourselves on coming up with our own sound, on putting our own, you know, unique twist on everything out there. And, you know, I'm hearing more of and this is no disrespect to none of them cats, but I'm hearing more of everybody wants to sound like Pop Smoke, or everybody wants to sound like you know, the mumble rappers, or this, that, and the other. And if you ain't doing a song like this and they ain't got it with the mumble verse in it, or trying to sing over your, you know, trying to sing instead of rap, man. Like, if you want to sing, man. If you want to rap, let's rap. I don't really understand them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Whatever stuff.
T-Pain,
like,
that's the T-Pain, man.
But see, but Pain be busting though. Like, you ain't when Pain,
because Pain can really sing.
Yeah, Pain can really sing, and he be busting in his
busting
lyrics.
raps.
So it's like, man, this ain't, you know, not every song has to be a party. You know, we can get a message out there, and, you know, how can I say, like, it's all right to be yourself and be individual. You know, I think that's the thing. We just have a lack of, you know, individuality here. That's the only thing. So
the problem is that this shit is way too easy to do. I'm telling you, the average person who was a rap fan today is going to be putting out an album next week.
Yep.
Because it's that easy to do. The digital era has made it that easy to do. People copying other people, like Smooth said, has made it that easier to do. It's at a point where you don't even have to have talent. It's just like, it's a hustle. That's all it is. It's a new hustle. People pick it up, try to duplicate something just to see if they can get X amount of views, and they can blow up just like that. Just off X amount of views on YouTube, or how many people you got following you on Instagram. It's algorithm now. It's about numbers. It's beyond the point of talent. Talent doesn't even matter anymore.
So question, fellas. I hear y'all when y'all make that statement. And so that leads me to this question for y'all. What youth do y'all see out there? What new young up and coming rappers have y'all tried to put under y'all wing, maybe to guide them to be their own self, to be their own individual? Because I do notice that not just in probably KC's area, but in every area, the young rappers they're not showing who they are. So what young rappers have y'all taken under y'all wing, maybe that's coming up, that y'all are trying to get them that avenue to show that they can be whoever they want to be?
I mean, I got some, you know, little homies over in Wyandotte County that I talk to all the time. And it's like, it's really hard, especially from that area, because there is one type of energy and one type of rap there. And it's hard to get them out of the mindset that this is not, everybody doesn't need to go this route. And this is not for everybody to go, especially in this day and era where you got people really testing you on this shit. So it's like, this music ain't to be played with like that. Because it's like, you got cats really running up on you, seeing if you really about that shit. Right. So it's like, I'm trying to tell cats, like, first of all, that ain't who you really are. That's just a facade. That's not really who anybody is. That's just a product of the environment, but that's not you. This is just where you live, and you're just caught up in the environment. But you got to strip all this shit away and get down to who you are. And that includes that you got to stay away from all that stuff and really be in solitude to find yourself. And all that stuff will just come. You know, that's the thing about me. I've always kind of been an oddball, you know, like you said, just I go to the beat of my own drum. But that has benefited me in so many ways. And it's kept me out of so much nonsense and trouble because I've always stayed true to who I was. And that's just the message I just try to put across is like, this isn't really you. This is really, it's an act at the end of the day. When you tap into who you are, you're really gonna uncover something that nobody's ever seen.
Soon as the director say action, y'all start faking. Doom, doom, doom. I start breaking. And it's so important. Inside joke, man. I think Hustle and Flow fucked up the rap game. It showed everybody.
Wow. Really?
Could be whatever.
Really?
I don't think it messed up anything. I think it captured a very important part of the time, bro. That was a real thing that was happening at that time. Him trying to get his shit together, literally on tapes and pass them out to people. That was a real. He was just capturing a time in the culture. That was a real thing.
And I believe it too, but it took off from there because you started hearing the bare minimum. Dum dum dum.
Whoop that
hey,
tree.
hey,
Whoop
hey, that was
that
the people
tree.
that couldn't make the beats, man, who didn't know how to play the actual organ and stuff. And they was just doing the best that they can, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, for real, think of somebody like David Banner. David Banner had no talent to produce whatsoever. He produced out of necessity because there was nobody producing in his area. And he turned out to be a super, super dope producer
down there in Louisiana.
But his heart, but the difference was he wasn't faking trying to be somebody else. His heart was really dedicated to the craft. And I don't see a lot of these kids' heart dedicated to the craft. When I look at guys who are trying to be gospel rappers and go different avenues, like for us down here in Houston, we got Toby. Toby's not in it just for the money. He's created a whole new culture. Movement, new culture. And so those guys are the guys that I felt like the rappers from the old, that's what they were trying to do. The Nas's, the Jay-Z's up east. And then down here you had Trick Daddy in Florida. Those guys to me wasn't trying to be anybody else. Those guys, Mystical when he told Master P to release him from his contract because he wanted to take the risk and make his own type of music. You know, when you listen to Mystical, you always gonna see the band behind them. You're gonna hear that dum 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 dum. People are taking chances, man. The Timberlands, man, Dr. Dre's, they took chances with their music and they was really serious about it. Whereas these young guys, man, they just seem it's just all fame for them. It's all about the fame and the money, and I just feel like they losing their way.
Well, I mean, I'll go ahead, Smooth.
I was just gonna piggyback on what Lou and Jay was saying. At least with what I try and do is with the youth out here, anybody that's trying to get into it, I'll go ahead and take my time and go invest my time in people. But I always try and I think start with that thing, just like they were saying. Make sure that they're investing in themselves. Like okay, I'm not just gonna come over here and rap with you. I want to see what type of songs you're doing. I want to see what type of, like what type of structure you're building. Do you have an album concept, or like building everything from start to finish? And I'll gladly work with anybody and be, try and give them that guidance there, because some people just don't know. But then you got others who are just like, I'm gonna make this hot song and get on this TikTok and drop this on my YouTube channel, and that's the next thing. Is like, what you gonna do after this one single? You may have had one hot line in one little song, and then you think that song just gonna keep going forever.
Absolutely,
keep improving, keep growing.
I feel that, and that's true. And I had to take a seat back because listening to the youth, having a young man around, I actually had to go back and watch the documentaries and kind of understand what this vibe was, because so many times me being older, I was like, hey. Y'all didn't have crack. Y'all didn't have Crips and Blood shooting up everything every day. In my mind, I'm like, it's so easy. But now we live in a different generation where people are more expressive, people are more emotional than we have the opportunity to be. So I did go back. I recently just watched Kid Cudi's documentary. I did watch Juice WRLD's documentary. And it's so interesting because they're considered legends. And I'm not shitting on anybody. You know what I'm saying? When I go back home, I'm starting to hear younger people. I'm open to listen to the music. I just think they need to understand that every old school or everybody born in the late 1900s is dogging them. We just want them to have more longevity, because I remember at one point they were saying Designer was going to be the everything off of one song, like you're saying. So that's the thing that gets to me. All right, fellas, I ain't gonna be before you long, but I do have to ask you this. What are one of your favorite or a few of your favorite lyrics that you enjoy, no matter if it piss people off? What are some of your hot lines that you stand on today proudly?
That we've said ourselves that we wrote.
That you wrote, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Shit. Oh man. I don't know. Let me think.
I've heard some stuff and I'll just be like, damn, with certain artists, I'm like, damn, like that's a legendary verse.
That was an emotional roller coaster right there.
Hard to them.
Right.
That was that 8 Mile moment in the booth.
Right. I don't know. That's a tough one.
So basically,
It's
you
easy
guys
for
was about
me
to
to
do
think-
that versus.
It's easier for me to think of verses of Blues and Smooths that
I know. I was sitting there thinking
Point
of
it out
music
there. Well,
first.
point it out
Hey,
there.
we'll drop that line.
Give yourself flowers.
Oh shoot, what was it? How to go? And I've been walking down the soldier's path, jumping off the
Jumping off the overpass, ripping off civilian clothes and showing off my Cobra mask.
What?
Ooh.
And speaking
yeah.
of what is Smooth saying? Zone out. Type to run up to the bride, say this here's. What did you say, Smooth? Type to run up to the bride and pull off her veil, hit her from behind, screaming, "This
Says you
is for
better
sale,"
not
throwing
tell.
bullets at the crowd like you bet not tell. Man, what?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh snap! Yeah, man.
Dude said, damn, what was that line he had on the gauntlet? He said, MC's on the menu at 8:24, like Kobe Bryant. This nigga said his old jersey number and his current jersey number. I was like, wow, that's pretty clever.
Damn. Man, like I said, I brought you brothers on here. Y'all the first group as far as musical talent that I brought on. And again, for those watching, you understand it's history, it's longevity. And that's one thing that I truly admired. I don't care if you're young, new school, old school. I just get confused on what your names are because they all the same. All the names are the same. And I if you're singing, you got to have something to have a cowbell. Just needs a little bit more cowbell to make it distinctive so we know who it is. But you have to understand the artistry on this Zoom right now. It stretches. For me, it takes me back to my early 20s, and that's just like they said, James Christos, Cess Crew, D-Loc and Dilemma. You're looking at Milk Drop. You're looking at D Will. You're looking at who else? 64111 Studio. You just look at a whole branch. Now you got District out there. Shout out to Joe Mack. It's so many people out there doing things. You have to understand. I know these people put their feet to the soil. You might have somebody doing photography. You might have somebody doing engineering, and then they turn around and grab the mic. You might have somebody doing flyers, t-shirts. I mean, when Deuce and Lou, when they did the blues, I was just like, shit, they got the whole outfit on. They got the shades. I said, they showed up for real. Like, it's just so important. And I appreciate you, brothers, for continuously being who you are throughout the years. And to me, that means more than anything. And I mean, I truly understand that you all keep to yourself. You ain't worried about nobody, but when it's go time, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I appreciate you. And I want to make sure I give you your flowers up front because I feel like you deserve them, man. For real, you are a cornerstone in KC. Period.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
Yeah, appreciate you. And to add on kind of to what we were saying that kind of keeps us going is, I think the only thing is that the only people we trying to impress is each other within the group. There's nobody else that gives a shit about what anybody else thinks outside of the group. If I write something, I'm trying to catch Deuce and Smooth's ear. Deuce does that, he's trying to catch our ear. Same with Smooth. We only trying to impress each other. And that's that's a really dope thing to be able to say.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because like I said, you all inspired me. Like one of my verses, you know, when I was angry and quote unquote haters, that's why I came up with too many people talking about this, too many people talking about that. Matter of fact, your shit sound whack. Matter of fact, yeah, made me want to go take a crap. Bring it back to the reality, the basics of rap. Bring it back to reality. I run without a salary. There's friendly fire in this local hip hop community. Everybody want the title of king. It ain't hard when you rapping about material things. I know you think the rap game is some glamorous shit. 85% of these niggas ain't living like this. Get their first meal and shine like the Black Liberace. Your ass is Virgil, the man is Ted DiBiase. Flossing, tossing these labels up on my closet. Fuck Tommy, he'll figure out who the fucking boss is. Croc and I about the price of his clothes. We do this music so we can straight up. But y'all helped inspire me. Like I said, y'all were always doing your own thing. Y'all made it liberating for me. That's why when Deuce jumped on the track, I ain't going front. I was just like, shit, okay. That whole compilation was just bananas. So that's why I said I want to bring y'all here. Last question, then I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all do y'all shout outs. Being that you are seasoned in the game, how do you deal with your everyday life now that we're civilized Negroes of age? How do you separate the game from the person? Well, I think I already know what y'all gonna say, but how do you think it transpires with the people around you? Do they still give you that push? Do they give you that support? Are you feeling the love from the family members and friends still?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's I don't know how to, I mean, I know for I know for everybody, it's still something every single day. Like if I hear a beat or um out here talking to somebody, like I said, working with other people. You know, I got a studio in the house, you know, and I don't think I could go without one at this point in time. You know, so that sort of keeps me on it. And I don't think there is a real separation, you know what I'm saying? It's at least for myself, it's wake up and, you know, maybe go to work, but even when I'm at work, I'm uh still being an artist. I just put the music into whatever I'm doing, you know, whether that's mixing a drink or like you said earlier, maybe doing photography for somebody or making, you know, shooting a video or whatever. Like I try and make it you know, everyday part of what I'm doing.
I can dig it. What about you, Deuce?
Uh, I kind of keep the music in my work life separate. Like the people I work with, they know I do music, but you know, in the past I've had jobs where I had people at my work call me Deuce. Don't nobody call me Deuce at work. Like for some reason, and I don't want them to. Like there's part of me is like, you don't get to call me that. So
Right.
yeah. So it's like but you know, I have the ability to record here too. Like when what was it, about a couple years ago when I moved into this house and and I had some money saved up, and it's like I just bought all kind of new equipment just so I can be here and work on stuff. So I've slowed down a little bit dealing with some latent health issues right now that have been distracting me from music because this latent pain that I be having in my legs, it's kind of hard to focus on music completely, but mainly because sitting in this chair. So, but other than that, whenever I get a chance, I'm sitting on some beats. I got a project I'm planning on wanting to put out as soon as I can get all these doctor's visits and everything out the way so I can start feeling better. So I can sit still in one spot for a while and focus on what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm still at it. My mom still supports me. People who know I do music, they still support me. I still got friends who support me. They yelling at me, talking about hurry up, put out something new and everything. So it's still going good. So I can't complain, man.
Man, that's cool. That's a blessing. Number one, I hope your health gets better ASAP. More than anything.
Appreciate that.
Take care of yourself first, put your seatbelt on, and then you can take care of the rest of those fans in the world, man. More than anything.
Absolutely.
What about you, Dad? Girl Dad of the Year,
For me, it's a little different because I do have younger kids. So there's kind of like this Superman Clark Kent kind of thing going on. It's like, of course, I'm Clark Kent, I'm dad when I'm here, but if I like put on a video or play one of my songs, they know it's me. So they're like, oh my God, you're on TV. Oh my God, and all this other stuff. Like, so there's that kind of cool element to it. I'm always gonna do it, you know what I mean? I've never had any I don't feel any separation between Lou Rip and Javon Fisher. We're all the same people. But you know, there's always people constantly every day inboxing me, bro, when's the next shit dropping? What are you doing? Let's go, blah, blah, blah. It's just, that's nonstop. But it's like, the beauty of it now is that, and maybe this has always been true, I've never really wanted to be famous or successful at this, so to speak. I've always just wanted to rhyme, and that's really all I've ever cared about. That's why I've never made the popular music or the booty music or the club music, because there's no end to that. Like, once you do that, where do you go from there? It's got to be club stuff all the time. You want to be writing club raps when you're 45, 50 years old? Like, come on, that's trash. So it's like, I've always just cared about lyricism. And I rhyme every day. I rhyme in casual conversation with my kids, and they pick up on that and they start doing that. So to me, that's kind of that's my success, is seeing these kids, you know, emulate what dad does. To me, that's awesome.
You better have the brats running around there. They're gonna be sick. They
got bars, bro.
Drop it off.
I already got the
Rips and the
4-year-old.
crew.
I got the 4-year-old coming off the top already. So we working.
What about you, man? I mean, I know that you have family and you've been doing this, and I know you got people that love you, such as myself, and just you are loved. What do you feel that your journey is going to be? Because you're saying that you want to give it 100%. So do you think that who's supporting you and pushing, or who's beating you on the head talking about time? Because I get people hitting me saying about time. So what about you?
Man, you know, it's you. I mean, me and you, we push each other. We push each other. Just like I plan on having 2 books come out next year for my poetry. Then eventually I'm gonna lay some music under some poetry. I'm gonna get you back to DJing some kind of way.
No.
It's me and you push each other. I got friends who were there from the beginning when radio station days and stuff, and they push me. But mainly, you know me, I like working behind the scenes, man. I like pushing younger people to be better. I give constructive criticism because I want people to have their individualism come back. Like, I write poetry. Poetry for me, writing poetry was a way for me to heal. It was me healing my own scars when I was writing the poetry. When my friends would make me get up and perform, you know, I was scared to perform just because I wasn't writing for people to listen. I was writing for me to take care of me. So,
right.
You know, my biggest crowd, man, is just the closest people, my closest friends and family, like you. And you push me, and I push you to do great things because I believe in you, and just like I feel like you believe in me. And that's all I need. I don't do stuff or write stuff for gratification to be seen or heard. You know me, you be trying to push me to be on the forefront, and I like being in the background.
I can dig it, bro. Well, you definitely doing your thing. So fellas, end of the segment. Do you have any shout outs that you want to give to any people, anybody that inspired you?
Shout out to my family every day. You know what I'm saying? Wife, kiddies. They inspire me. They inspire me to just be a man, you know, outside of all the rap stuff. They inspire me to get up every day and just hustle and be a man. Musically, shit, these 2 brothers on the line with me, Smooth and Deuce, they are huge inspirations for me. I always have been. You know, the thing about them is we're all different, but we're all the same. You know, we have our elements that shine out, our uniqueness about us that shines out when we rhyme. And I can pick up stuff from Deuce, and I can pick up stuff from Smooth, and I can incorporate that in what I do. So, you know, I'm inspired by a lot of people, but like they're the 2 biggest.
I dig. What about you, Deuce?
Yeah, shout out these 2 brothers, Lou, Smooth, always been my inspiration. Shout out that fire behind Smooth. I've been looking at that fire behind Smooth the whole night.
That's my inspiration right now.
I wanted to shout that fire out the whole time. Um,
Dude, do you have a big polar bear rug that you can lay down in front of that mug, dude?
Yes. Where's the polar bear rugs, Smooth? I bet-
Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss?
Exactly.
You missed the shout out to your fireplace.
Oh man.
Fire on the mug.
Hey man,
We
he
was
got
looking
that
for the
paint on
po-
top of it.
Shout out to them two little ladies there too as well. Athena, Alexis. Hi.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Hi. All right.
Oh man,
Yeah.
That's his next. That's that next rap group.
making my eggs drop. Them kids, I be wanting baby. I get baby fever fast. You got any shout outs, brother?
Yeah, yeah, to my fiance Amanda and our little one. I got a little one on the way next week.
Yes,
Congratulations,
sir.
my brother. Congratulations.
Already.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Little nephew coming.
Yeah. Shout out to these guys, of course, my brothers. Like, think to just second what they saying. They are my inspiration. They're the ones that keep me going as well. Yeah, man. And yeah, to the fireplace. I got a polar bear rug and stuff.
All right. You look like on the motherfucking messenger. You probably the dude with the rose talking about.
Exactly.
I didn't
Hey,
see your
hey.
emoji, Playboy. Hey, for real, man. Shout out to
Yeah, I had to put the hat back on.
Yeah. Man, shout out to DJ Shy, because Shy is the one who put me up on a lot of you all. To
Yeah,
find
shout out to Shop for sure.
following Shy, I found all of you all. So shout out. So hey, again, I appreciate you all for coming on the show. Without people like you, I wouldn't even have a show. I wanted to give you your flowers now because I feel that you all truly deserve it. More than the longevity, I appreciate the heart that you put in it, your authenticity, and just everything that you all do, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, man. We very much appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely,
It's
man.
all
Thank
love.
you.
It's all love.
Thank you, bro.
All right, well, I'm about to go ahead and end this. I ain't got no fancy loop. I ain't got no thing. Once I hit, got any questions,
You
let
know.
me know. However, I'm going to get their information. I'm going to put it in this joint on YouTube, JAYDAVI 5. Like, subscribe, share. I hate that shit. I be feeling like a so.
Hey, like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for tuning into the 3% show. Yeah, let's get it.
All right, man. Y'all take it.
Service.
Service. I'm gonna bring my
Yes,
story
sir.
next time. Bye.
Service.